Okay, this next one was written just a few weeks after Katrina, y'all. So this is like a Katrina poem. So if you had some idea of what I was feeling and going through after that, then you can get an accurate reflection from listening to this poem.
Talking heads serving
collectively pitch our birth certificates from the toxic soup to find that space that talk about place of origin, to see if we really did live in a city that really was in a state, that really was in the United States of America, looking for confirmation of citizenship. And the replay was called A Requiem in 4 acts. So we found our reflection in the mug and whispered in its ear, "Can you tell us if we're still alive, please?" Unable to come up with the right words, our reflection didn't answer that. And we were unnerved by the silence because the eulogizers were beginning to eulogize. But then, we saw your tambourine shake. Then we heard your drum beat. And when we felt the hot air streaming from the fatting of the brass, we knew that this was the breath of our city. And it was the confirmation that we were looking for. So we shouted out to the grave digger, "Hold on to your dirt, partner, because we ain't dead yet." So this next poem was, I wrote this because I came from a poor neighborhood in New Orleans, and I imagine that some of the same problems that exist with me and my friends there probably exist in neighborhoods like it all over the world. And that is something that was real fundamental that we got to figure out how to get beyond. In my neighborhood, we didn't always respect scholarship, you know? If you could play football, basketball, or baseball, you could be the dumbest dude in the neighborhood, you was our hero. You know, it's like, I love that dude, I won't be with him. If you were brilliant but slightly clumsy, man, please tell him to stay over there. We don't want to have nothing to do with him, you know? And so I saw some kids who had everything they needed, right, for this world, had everything, but somehow, you know, just being in the wrong environment, you know, that wasn't conducive to them kind of highlighting, you know, the good stuff, they kind of like just pushed aside and became more like us, right? Because at the time I was just with my group of friends too. I was the same way, you know, just want to play sports all day long. And so I wrote this poem thinking of my friends who got lost in that transition, you know, who were never really able to get it back on track. Greg Jackson was the nicest boy I met. When he was a little older than a baby, he'd see me coming and run to hide behind a tree. And I would always act like I didn't see him, so I asked the question out loud. I wonder where Greg is. The more I asked the question, the louder he laughed. And after he'd been back there for a while, he jumped from behind a tree and said, "Here I am, Mr. Jack." Sometimes he would say, "Are you going to race me today?" And I'd say, "Well, sure." And I'd go to one end of the block down by where Miss Burns used to live. And he'd go to the other end by the Sanctified Church. I'd say, "On your mark." He'd twist his hat back. Get set. Eyes beaming with determination. Go. And Greg would shoot up from there. And it always tickled me because it seemed like his neck got lost between his shoulders with his head tilted at a 45-degree angle. The arm just fucking around. Seemed like he was trying to muster every ounce of energy he had to run as fast as he could. Truth be told, Greg was as slow as an ice wagon.
But if he made it to the block in 8 seconds, I'd tell him he made it in 6. I'd say, Greg, you keep running like that, you're going to be faster than Carl Lewis in no time. And he'd be huffing and puffing. You think so, Mr. Jack? You think so? Sometimes we would sit on the porch and watch the sunset, and Greg would pretend that it was he on the other end of a very long string, slowly pulling the sun below the horizon. Once I asked him what he wanted to be when he grow up. He said, I want to be an astronaut. I never heard that before, so I say, why you want to be an astronaut? He said, because I want to fly off into space and see who really turned them stars on that night. When I saw Greg, I saw a bright kid, bright future. I saw Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream. I saw the dream of every man or woman who ever put it on the line in the name of black liberation. But lately, things haven't been the same.